Yeah, hi all. I welcome to all of you to today's webinar of customer churn analytics. Yeah, a few more attendees were joining in, so just started. Uh, we'll, I'll just start sharing the screen. Okay, so now just wanted to make sure that can you all hear me? I'm just typing in. Request you to respond. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Udeep, Narendra, Kunal, Manil, Umesh. Thanks, all of you. Great. So today's webinar is about customer churn analytics. We'll use assisted predictive modeling of Smarten, and so we are the host in this webinar. So I'm Pradeep Sharma. I'm a senior manager of business analytics for Smarten Augmented Analytics, and I'm a consultant engaging uh, prospective customers from different industry, customers and existing partners, and I help them in the journey to leverage the benefits of visualization dashboards, augmented analytics, etc. And with me in today's webinar, Janvi Patel is available, and she is the data scientist for Smart and Augmented Analytics, and she has worked with various use cases in various domain uh, using assisted predictive analytics, like maintenance, customer support, marketing campaigns, etc. And she also assists in research and development of the product. So to make it more and more easier for business user working as a citizen data scientist. In the webinar, wherever you have questions, you feel free to put your questions in question sections. And in this handout sections of GoToWebinar, we'll just put this. There are two presentations. One is this of overall theme webinar slide, and the other is related to customer analytics. So I'll just shortly put that slide here, so you can refer that also. uh, Regarding Smarten, uh, so it's a platform wherein you have modern analytics and a traditional BI available in a single platform. It's an augmented analytics platform, and it is mentioned in multiple Gartner reports. And the key components of augmented analytics is smart visualizations, self data preparation, and augmented analytics. This is helpful for the users who doesn't know the data science but still want to build model and share with the other users. And that is the shift happening in the market, and this kind of transformation is needed in the current scenario of the market. So which actually help business user to transform to citizen data scientists, and that is the way forward to democratize advanced analytics in the organizations. And apart from uh, all this augmented analytics functionality, Smarten also offers dashboards, powerful ad hoc analysis, and visualization. So that is helpful, and this makes it a very unique proposition, very unique offering that traditional BI and modern BI are both available in Smarten. So in today's use case, we have customer churn assisted predictive analytics. So we'll make one model for customer churn advanced analytics using Smarten, and very briefly, I'll just will cover various example of other use cases also, and later on we'll have a webinar series on different use cases also. So the use case is that of customer churn analytics in that we have picked up a use case of a utility company, and that utility company wants to know what kind of customers are most likely to churn, and which ones are most likely to remain loyal, and etc. And this technique can be used to predict whether the customer will move away from the business, and when will it happen to, and so it is helpful to understand those customer churn analytics. So target would be to know the customer churn status, meaning that whether they are likely to move away, yes or no. And influencing factors could be many actually. And this is not like Smarten is not offering as a hard coded template that you need those influencer as a must, but whatever influencers are available in your data source, you can easily pick up and build a model without do custom coding in R, Python, etc. So influencing factors could be many, like services the customers may use. They might be using phone, multiple lines, internet, online security, and many other services. So this is the example of a utility company providing this telecom related services and value-added services. So whether the customer is using streaming TV or not, movies or not, etc. And information that may impact could be customer account information, like how long they have been a customer, what is the contract, it is a month-to-month contract, yearly contract, long period contract, what are the payment methods. Perhaps from that we can define some pattern, whether they are into paperless billing or online transaction, are they paying monthly charges, and whatever, how much charges so far the customer has paid. So these are some of the influencing factor, but it is not limited to this. uh, you can choose your influencing factors, and other informations could be demographic information, that is maybe a gender may have impact, age range, uh, if they are true partners, and they have dependents or not, etc. So those would be the use case. And yeah, a brief in terms of Smarten is that these are the credential of Smarten. This is listed in multiple Gartner reports. uh, and these are some of the customers from various industry segments. So this is not limited to any specific company or function. This is a generic horizontal platform where you can build your analysis, predictive analytics, dashboards specific to company. And the overall value offering is that in no time you have a ready hypothesis testing. Prototype can be built very easily. And for data scientists also who are working in R, there is a direct integration between R and Smarten also. And these are some of the resources. We'll come back to this later. And the will I'll just put the slides in the handout. I'll just prompt you when you can download. So I'm making Janvi the presenter, and she will walk us through for making this analytics, and we both can uh, take you to the journey of making this customer churn analytics. In between, if you have any question, please feel free to ask those questions. We'll make this interactive. We'll cover your questions whenever we can do in the entire flow of the demonstration. Yeah, so I'm just handing over to Janvi. Just a minute.
So yeah, customer churn impedes growth. So companies should have a defined method for calculating customer churn in a given period of time. So here we are presenting some assistive predictive modeling for customer churn. So firstly, I will make a new data source. So in our product Smarten, we can enter data in the form of CSV file, Excel, XML, in many other formats, database formats like SQL, MySQL, and we can also insert data directly from SAP and Google Analytics. Also, we can directly import R scripts. So
So your data could be in database, in Excel file, Amazon S3 here. You can see you can pull up the data from Amazon S3 also and HDFS. So data source could be many. So for that SSDP layer is there, self-serve data preparation, and for that we also have a webinar series. Right, next week we'll have one more session on SSDP. Yeah, so we are using this to make the data set. Yeah.
So from that data source, I'm making a data set. So we can see from the screen that we can directly deselect the columns which we don't need. And yeah, currently I'm pressing OK. Here in the data, I have available customer ID, gender, whether customer is senior citizen or not, whether it is a partner, it has dependencies, tenure, and so many influencing factors, as in it has internet services, what kind of services are there, um, and so on. So basically, our target for assistive predictor will be our customer will churn or not. So I'm publishing the data set. I'm straight away going for new Smarten inside. Here we have available so many algorithms like forecasting, classification, clustering, correlation, regression, and I'm choosing classification for this data set. So the next step is we need to select our data set. It is working on identifying automatically target and predictors for us. So it may take some time.
Yeah. By the way, in the meantime, I have placed two presentations in the handout section. One is for the overall flow of webinar, and other presentation is specifically for this customer churn predictive analytics use case. You can download that. That would be useful. In that, during the presentation, whatever we are going to explain, those screenshot or broader level flow is already there. So that would be useful for you to refer. So both the handouts presentation is there. So you can download that. Yeah.
Yeah. So from this screen, we need to select our target for classification model. So I'm selecting customer churn as a target. So our model is asking that, do you want to identify recommended predictors? So I'm giving yes.
So this is useful. This is the work we are doing related to Auto Insights, where you select, okay, I want to know customer churn, yes or no, and what could be the factors that may impact. So it will choose on its own. So it is like assistance from the system, and then you can also add more
Ads.
influencer that you think, and based on your assumption, so that this platform is useful to test your assumption. So because being in the business, you certainly know that those 4 5 things may be impacting. So let's try it out, let's test it, and then it will give you the interpretation summary also, and then there will find, okay, I brought in this influencer, but it is not having impact, so let's drop this, let's pick up some other things. So that a lot of to and fro you can do, which is difficult, like when you do in R or Python. So a normal business user or dashboard developer or business analyst, for them it becomes very difficult to do all this exercise to and fro in R, but here you can do that. But auto insight is also helpful to uh, identify the factors. So yeah,
Yes.
Umesh, thanks for your question. How does it identify factors using what logic? So yeah, it, behind that we have our own programming, and the entire this is made in Spark, ML, machine learning based libraries for this algorithm, etc. And in factors, it takes the relationship. You know how many times certain status is appearing, yes or no, as customer churn in what category, whether region or whether say payment methods, etc. So it checks those distribution pattern. It checks the correlationship also. That's example customer tenure as well as charges. Is there any relationship? So many things are working behind this. Uh, yeah. So based on that, it suggests. So this predictive analytics is quite useful. Generally, in a broader sense, if I say in a very simplistic terms, that what happens that users are using Excel file to find out their pattern, equation, etc. Whenever things go more complex, that you cannot find out a straightforward equation because the number of combinations are so much that you cannot build a very simple equation. At that time, this predictive analytics is quite useful, whether it is a regression, classification. So you leave out all these combinations to the Smarten. It will try out, find the patterns, find the how many times certain things is appearing, what is the relationship, etc. Because those areas are such that it goes a little bit beyond the human comprehension to work with so many combination at the same time, and that's why it is very helpful uh, using this predictive analytics. And here it is a very intuitive UI. Yeah, so you need not to worry. You may start with the auto insight recommended one, influencer, and then you can choose two or three or four at a time, and then check if something is not working well. It will tell you. You will be able to see that in summary also, and then you can come back to here. You can drop. You can choose other factors. So it is quite agile in a way that it gives you user friendly UI. Yeah, Janvi, continue.
Yeah. So I have selected some predictors by my own. And the next question is, do you want to run model on full data? So here what we do is, suppose we have a huge number of data, then we are sampling the data. So rather we have, for this case, we have 6,000 data. So I'm just saying yes to this, that I will run my model on the full data. And so the next is, do you want to run classification on the entire data set? So here is the option where we can select some filters. For example, I need a senior citizen, only the senior citizen. So I will select yes, and then we can filter our data by this way. So as of
So
now,
yeah,
I
this
don't.
is useful. Yeah, so this is useful when you have assumption for a specific region. For example, say overall you have looked at the model for example all region and all ages, etc. But now you have some specific in specific areas you want to find a pattern. For example, senior citizen within this area for streaming TV, etc. So you can filter that data and you can find out the pattern within that also. And the earlier that Janvi told that whether to run in the entire data or a sample data. So when you have a huge amount of data, you don't want to get stuck that when data entire data would load and when we'll build the model. You can just choose a sample data, and from that you can start building the process, and then you can switch back the full model to full data also. So right now it is working on recommending the best fit algorithms, and which can be delivered faster with more accuracy. In the meantime, if you have any question, please feel free to ask.
So yeah, it has selected support vector machine, and the model accuracy is 74.48%, which is a good fit model. we have total 6 algorithms for classification, and this Smarten will automatically select that algorithm which will give a best result for the particular data set. So from the first screen, we can see a scatter plot of tenure and total charges.
So
And
whatever influencing factors you have selected, so from this, these two are having numbers, tenor and total charges. So the numbers are there so that you can see a relationship. Uh, so here automatically it will plot this chart. However, we have a graphical engine, Smarten visualizations, a separate engine where you can create any visualizations the way you want from maybe model data or any other data. But this is by default it will provide so that you need not to create these visualizations on your own, because what happens before we build any model or when we try to interpret the model, we need data exploration also, some graphical presentation also. So it prepares model entirely, it prepares these visualizations also. You can see there are other uh, supported visualizations are also there apart from scatter plot, and then we will go more into detail, but just to show that here there are other visualizations are also helpful. So it not only prepares just select the model, select the algorithm, it prepares the entire model with supported visualizations and ready to apply. Yeah, so yeah, Jani, if you can click on scatter plot.
yes,
Yeah, so still we have not applied the single, we have not queried this model for any data, but here you can see at a broader level, this is just a visualization. It shows that there is a red bubble and blue bubble is there. So, and on x-axis there is tenor, which shows that these are the renewals actually 20 months, 40 months, etc. So till say example 20 months, we can see some red bubble appearing. It shows that there is some problem, uh, that till 20 periods customers are likely to move away. Then they are more or less staying more. But let's apply, let's query this model and say based on our past data, it has learned a pattern, and then we can do the single apply. On top right corner you can see the icon for single apply. Rajan, you can click and let's take one example.
just a second, Pradeep.
Sure.
Umesh has a question that does it try out all the algorithms? And if yes, can we see the results of other algorithms? So yeah, Umesh, we can see the results of other algorithms, and it will try out all the algorithms. It will just pop up the algorithm which gives fast result and the result with accuracy more than 70%. So yeah, we can
Yeah,
try
so
lot.
reasonably good accuracy variability is that, so it will quickly compare and will give you the result, and so it will recommend you, but however you can also click on the other algorithm and can see the interpretation there also. And while
Yeah,
doing so, it will also suggest you, uh, say example if I click on multi-nominal, and then since this is for a business user not knowing the data science, so it helps them that okay, multi-nominal logistic regression is applied only on target variable with more than two classes, etc. So it suggests that this you cannot apply because the data is not such. Then we can click on, say example, binary logistic regression. It will give you wherever the other algorithm is possible to apply, you can apply that.
yes,
So you can override also. Yeah. Now,
yeah.
yeah, we can do the.
Going single account.
So this is right now what we are doing. Say example, based on the past data, it has learned a pattern. Now all these are influencing factors or whatever the input parameters we have given. So we can try out what happens if a contract is month to month, internet services, fiber optic, whether is a senior citizen, yes or no, and all that. In this case, what can happen? So we are filling up this value. So this is ad hoc question we are applying on that. but you can also apply automatically on your database of customers. So right now you can see, yeah, Janvi, you can explain.
Yeah, so from the data which we have inserted, it is given that predictive class of churn is yes. So this person with this predictors is likely to churn, and the accuracy is 79% for that, and probability is 0.14.
So that means here you can see that yet not, it is not yet in the domain of, or in the area of, where there are higher chances for this person to move away. But we can run this across multiple customers, and wherever, for example, probability is higher, we can just focus on those customers. And yeah, and we can feed in the data, whatever the customer's data is there. So ideally, this predictive algorithms can be used in such a way that for past data you have the answers of customer churn, yes or no. But the future data, you have only the data of whether customer is using streaming services or not, internet services or not, etc. But you don't know whether customer is likely to churn or not. So for all those customers where you don't have that data, you don't have the decision or answer, you can feed that data here in mass apply and run this predictive algorithm model, and you'll get the answers for all of those customers. Yeah, Janvi.
So for example, this
Then
is my
yeah,
the data which I have fed is a data which is not used for training our model. So yeah, it has predicted customer churn, and this is actual customer churn in our data set. So we can have a look on that, and we can also download it, export it as a CSV. Another feature here is of
yeah, Umesh. So now we are going to show you that how you can check the accuracy of the model. So you asked about, does it do the validations while you're evaluating the model? Yes, with testing data, the way Janvi has now just pulled up the data for testing, and you can see the result of that. For training model, now we'll show you that how you can see interpretations, accuracy, and all that. So yeah, Janvi, if you can just click on that accuracy button. So here you can see, Umesh, that within this model, first of all, there are two types of summaries are there. One is for non-data science user, and they can see what is happening in this model, like what are the interpretation. So yeah, Janet, you can click on that. So here you can see, I'll just take just two example here. At broader level, you can see that it has picked up a pattern where it shows that if the tenor is higher than the customer churn, uh, so average tenor for customer churn is no. That means the customer who are not moving away, their tenor is higher actually, and total charges are also higher. Total meaning that, oh, so far, whatever the charges they have incurred. So you can see that interpretations for each and every gender and all that, for each and every product, streaming TV or not, etc. So you can have it here, or can close this window and can show that supported visualizations in dimension count uh, by target classes. You can show that.
okay, okay.
Then we'll go to the.
So
So here you
we
can
have
see, yeah, yeah, Janet.
we have a contract here for months to months, 1 year and 2 year. So we can see that the customer who are likely to churn are just here for months to months, and there is less probability who will churn um, is of
So the
customers since last.
yeah, so the customers who are subscribing on a month-to-month basis, maybe those are the customers who may not have the intention to stay longer. So it has picked up that pattern, that month-to-month kind of pattern. Here you can see blue bar. If you compare customer churn yes and customer churn no, here you can see comparatively this blue bar is higher. Its height is, it's a taller in compared to the customer churn no. So it shows that that is one of the differentiator. Similarly, you whatever the other parameters are there, you can just show a drop down, can we, from this z-axis contract. We don't want to pick up all
Yes.
the value, but yeah, these are the whatever inputs we have given. So from that we can pick up any, and we can see what is the difference between customers and yes or no. So this is, we are talking about validations manually, because business users are not so well versed about data science, so they can just explore like this also. Then yeah, you can go to average measures by target classes. So here also it shows that average total cost red bar is there, which shows that customer churn no. Here it is relatively higher than, marginally higher than the customer churn as yes. And average tenor is also relatively higher than customer churn yes. So this is how manually you can explore. And then there is a data science summary. You can look into that. Then we can explain it further.
Yes. So from this model summary, we can have a look on a confusion matrix. So these are the metrics in which we can see that the horizontal line is for predicted classes, and the vertical line is for actual classes. So the customer churn, which was no and rated as a no, is this much count, and the customer churn who were actually yes and rated as a yes, it is that, and by that we have calculated the accuracy of 74.48%, and there is a chance of 25% of error.
So what it shows that overall whatever data we have, if we run this model on that data, it run that model on its own data and says that out of whatever actual values are there, out of that 74% approx values it has predicted as right. So this is how you can see that accuracy. And you have a smiley icon also there. If in any of the data and any model, if smile is not good, that means that there is not a right algorithm or not right data fitment. So you cannot rely on that. So that is how you can explore.
So we have another feature called data, in which the data which we have feeded our model, that has performed again the predictive churn on that. So here is the predicted churn column and the actual churn column. So we can
Okay,
also match from
Umesh has one more question, that can we have the other metrics such as recall, precision, etc. Yeah, Umesh. So we are working on that, and most of the cases like in the auto ML or auto suggestion area, these are more targeted towards the overall accuracy. However, we are working on that, and we will bring that more and more, because I understand that recall and precision would be useful in a summary. So yeah, it would be there in the future release. So that is under the assessment of the product team. It would be useful. So overall, Umesh, one more thing is that for a data scientist, if you already have built anything in R, you can directly consume that also in Smarten. Sometimes because very precise algorithms, custom use case you may have developed in R, and R is lacking UI to share with the other users because it doesn't have collaborative enterprise UI. You can directly push that data in the Smarten UI in a interactive way. It is a live connection as well as cache connection is there, and once it is connected to the Smarten UI, you can also interact with that model. You can pass on the variable values, etc. So that is how also it is useful to our data scientists. And one more area it is useful in to data scientists is that apart from this assisted predictive is that when your data is not so ready for making analytics, because you need to clean data, explore, shape, reduce, etc. So their self-serve data preparation of Smarten is also useful. And I would request you also, because it looks like you are from that data science background, and just uh, I just want to run one poll with that, just to understand the audience mix here. I have just asked one question that you are from business analyst, data scientist group, IT, or business user. So that will be also helpful to me to understand the mix of attendees here. Thanks for the participation. Okay, so I can take note of that while explaining this thing. Okay, so just to share that it is a mix of 50% from IT, 25% data scientist, 25% business analyst. Yes, so I'm closing this poll. Thank you for this. Okay, so yeah, I was explaining that for data scientists, these two are very good leverage, that data cleaning without scripting programming, so that you can clean your data, make it ready for analytics in a very fast way. And second thing is that anything developed in R can be directly connected. And third thing for a data scientist, this entire approach exploration of use cases while you are discussing with the business user. What happens that for to make the predictive analytics successful, business domain input is needed. And if we are interacting with the business users, and if we make them the part of the initiative, then the success of predictive analytics becomes quite it success chances of predictive analytics becoming successful increases if we make the champion business users part of this process. So this platform can be provided to them, and then they can explore some assumption, etc. And you can also discuss with business users using this tool, so that those use cases can be uh, made very quickly, and you can see whether broader level insight is you are getting or not, so that you can drop certain use cases there and there. Sometimes in Smarten itself you get the satisfactory results, so there is no need of coding. Sometimes you need more details, you want to mature that model. At that time you can refer this, you can do exploration here and can choose the algorithm and can just start coding in R. And I understand at that time you need precision, recall, etc. Yeah, so we are working on that. Yeah, thanks. By the way, thanks for your question. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the business users, they can select from here the predictors value, and we can see that the bubble this is for the value which we have put in here. And from that we can see that when we changes the value, where will be the probability of getting yes. So this is just to showing up
It's
the
a simulation that you can just change your input and can see the result. Here, a red bubble showing that the customer churn where it will fit into the category. So you can do a simulation. Yeah. And now,
we can also
wherever you
change.
find, yeah, you can change your influencer here. You can always go to this change model parameters and can drop or add any columns.
Yeah.
Now, I think for customer churn analytics, Janvi, is anything left? I can show some other use cases.
Yeah, you can show Pradeep. I'm done with
Yeah.
the customer churn.
Okay. Just a minute. Okay. So quickly, I'll just show some more use cases, and later we'll cover those use cases a little bit in more detail in a future webinar. So we are not making the model, but I just wanted to make a very quick overview. So I'll just cover some of the examples from different industry, different use cases. Example, this is the data of medical charges. So so based on our data, I have some data based on that. In the past data, it has the past data of attendees or candidates age, candidates status, whether he's a smoker or not, etc. And based on that, what are the medical charges occurring? And based on that, say example, you want to find out a pattern, so you can choose a regression and you can choose your data here. You can see that here I want to predict the medical charges based on age, BMI, sex, whether he's a smoker or not, from which region it is coming out. So you can apply, say customer is male, smoker, from northwest region, age is example 40, BMI is 33, and I just hit apply. So since the model has learned a pattern, and here it shows that okay, predicted charges could be this much based on this profile, and this accuracy is good, and it shows that okay, this is how I can work that what should be the coverage for this kind of candidate. Medical coverage, while you are deciding, you can choose this as a recommendation, and all this you can also embed in your website or other UI, so that you can make a form and they can feed in the values and you get the auto recommendation result. Other could be, say, loan eligibility, wherein customers, so this is a common example everyone can relate, that when we apply for loan on the website, there are certain questions that we give answers to. Based on that form, when we fill up, you'll get the result that okay, you are eligible for this much amount of loan. At the behind, you can see uh, we want to predict loan amount, and this could be the influencer. And based on that, once you apply that, it choose here, it has chosen multiple linear regression. When you apply that, okay, what is the grade of application, you can drop that or you can keep that. This is for internal assessment. So here, whatever the application grade you are assigning here, you can see that is ABC grade or 1 to 3 grade or whatever. So here, employment length is a 2 to 3 years, home ownership status, whether it is a rent or own, status is not verified, annual income is example this much, debt to income ratio is this much, I apply, and you can see for this combinations it shows that this much amount should be approved based on the past data and the relationship between all these attributes. Other examples could be cross sales and upsell opportunity. So this is useful for product bundling. So you pick up the invoice number, and in each invoice, how many products were there. So you choose those products in the data and you choose the transaction ID. And here you can see it finds the relationship. It builds the product mix on its own. The explanations are also given here about each and every visualizations and model. So here it shows that the product. So this is a departmental source, and here it shows that the association of this product mix of sour cream, root vegetables with whole milk is higher, and you can see the confidence value here, 61.91%, and these are relatively decreasing confidence value. And then you can also, if you are arranging the shelf, whether say you ask that, okay, whether should I put this product with this product, is there any association? Generally, wherever there is a strong association, we put this product together. Here it shows that confidence value is 0%. You should not place those products together. So this is one example. There could be many other. Say example, um, you are analyzing production data and you have batch and process data is there. So one example of winery making wine where I have the data of each process, wherein I have the data of how much chloride is there, how much alcohol is there in that, and all that. And based on that, I want to find out whether the quality of that wine would be high or low. So here in this example, it should automatically find out the optimal path, where it shows that if your parameters are kept within this limit, there are higher chances of wine being of high quality. If not, you can also explore visually here. So here it has automatically taken decision tree, and you can also explore, okay, what if my residual sugar is not less than 1.85? If it is yes, you can go that path. If no, then you can explore. If not, then what is the free sulfur dioxide? And I can see here, I have found another path, alternate path. When I click on here high, you can see this has highlighted the another path. If these parameters are kept in this limits, there are high chances that wine being manufactured of high quality. I'm not applying the value here, but you can also apply your batch data of, say, example, fixed acidity is this much, free sulfur oxide is this much, etc., pH value, etc. So example you can give and you can apply, and it will tell you that, okay, whether it is a high quality or low quality wine likely to be produced and what are the chances of that. Uh, so probably I'm just picking up one more example, and in the meantime, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. So the idea here is that it is not industry specific. You can make industry specific industry specific models the way you want. It is a horizontal product, and almost all these popular models, popular algorithms of classification, regression, etc., are common across different industry. So for Smarten, it doesn't matter whether you are analyzing healthcare data, you are analyzing manufacturing data. So, for example, campaign optimization. You are running a campaign, you have customers details, and you want to know whether certain types of customers are going to respond to my campaign or not. So before running a campaign, I can check, find a pattern based on the past data, and can, if it is not giving good likelihood of campaign being successful, I can just save my cost and don't run that campaign for those kind of customers. For example, customer is having profile as management, married, in graduation. So whatever data we may have, US defaulter no, home ownership status yes, the existing loan yes, age is 41. When you are running this uh, campaign, say 5th of the month, and since what is the duration between two campaigns? One, when did you run the campaign last? They say last email was sent 30 days before, and okay, I'm missing one information here. So this is the balance amount, and I can see that okay, they are likely to respond to this campaign, but chances are very low. So this is not good enough chances that I should give it a try. So I can run that with all this profile data against. So I have done just a single apply, but I can do all mass apply, and I can find out that who are the customers who are likely to respond. So I can just choose that higher probability and focus on them only. Similarly, I can apply this, that I want to predict that for this kind of data, this kind of customers, which platform is good. Should I place my advertise on Facebook or YouTube videos or many other platforms, whether it is a web desktop targeted or mobile targeted, etc. So there could be many use cases. So but the overall value is that it allows you to quickly try it out on your own. You can do changes very quickly, and while you prepare the model, you can clean the data, you can handle the outliers, you can mash up, split data, merge data without scripting. That is also very useful. So that is all about this webinar, and I'll just share this slide for pointing out towards resources. Uh, so these slides are available in the handout section for you to download. However, I just wanted to highlight here. So these are uh, some resources, mention of resources. You can join the community, download Smarten. Smarten is available on AWS also. And if you have any questions, you can also join the support community here. We also have webinars in next week where we'll just send you the email invitation, where we have a webinar for cross-sell and upsell opportunity for next week, then other webinars related to training of self-serve data preparation of various other resources, data sources as say XML, JSON, uh, you know, SQL data, SAP, R, etc. So broader level, we'll just cover uh, the training of self-serve data preparation also. And here you can see YouTube playlist. So you can watch some videos related to different modules of Smarten. So I think we have covered the questions. Still, I'll just check. If you have any question, please feel free to ask, or later on also you can connect us. So once again, I thank you all of you to join us in this webinar. Okay. Okay, Narendra. Okay. How to connect to front end. Okay. So right now, so we will cover that also in the overview demonstration of in future series of webinars. So it has dashboarding, report, cross tab, uh, you know KPIs and many other things. So once you connect to the data source, prepare a data set, and then easily you can do analysis for cross tab, graphical as visualization, smart visualization, etc. So we'll also cover those topics in our future webinar series, and we'll keep you posted. And yeah, certainly it has this functionality. Thank you, Umesh. Yeah, so I hope it was useful to all of you. Thank you, all of you. Stay safe in the current situation.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Gunnar.
Olive.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm concluding here. Thank you, all of you. Yeah.